All right, we're here with Muldrotha once more. I think enough new cards came out with Kamigawa that it's worth giving a shot again and feeling like it's, fresh enough. Other than the new cards, I mean, we could just filter them. I've learned how to filter my set. You have the two pretty decent channel lands. Obviously, Bill Sage is like the best of all time. Every green deck ever will probably run this. We're going to try Jin-Gitaxias. It's one of those huge bombs that is hard for your opponents to deal with, and if they do deal with it, we can maybe recur it with Muldrotha sometimes. So quite a steep mana investment, but it's possible. We also have Giant's Amulet and Mirror Shield to give Muldrotha and some crazy thing like Jin-Gitaxias Hexproof. Also, Seraph. Discover the Impossible will probably mostly just be a cantrip. I have yet to actually cast a spell off of this, so I still don't know if you can cast anything at instant speed, like a ramp spell or something. But we're still going to try it. We have two new decent sagas that I like and want to try, especially when they like have a chance to die that isn't too unreasonable. You can recur them, which is nice. Right, because the other ones just go straight to the graveyards. These ones don't. But they are just kind of smaller creatures, so they might die. But the value seems nice. And Mnemonic Sphere. I actually just got Mnemonic Sphere in the mail. A chunk of my Muldrotha list on paper just came in, so I felt like I wanted to play it digitally. What else did I got? Gravebreaker Lamia, or Lamia, I think it's Lamia, on paper as well. So we're going to try that one. It's a little slow. It's kind of a weird tutor, especially without like a lot of flashback cards. I feel like I'm going to get like Uro a lot, especially if I just don't have Muldrotha in play, right? We also don't recur a ton of things at a time, so having the discount on the recurrence is not really all that great. I guess if you mill over Ulamog, you can cast it for 9 mana. Yeah. But we'll see. Also, we're not playing like extra turn effects, so Emergent Ultimatum isn't like crazy, but we're still going to try that. The last time I cast Emergent Ultimatum in this deck, something prevented me from... Like, I got 3 cards and I messed them up so bad it didn't do anything, but I can't remember what it was. I got like 3 sagas, but I couldn't put counters on them, from memory at least. I added some counter spells, Wash Away, Negate, and Counterspell. I dropped one of the Frogifies, making room for this. I added a bunch of lands as well, so we're not just at 34. I took out the 4 mana rocks because I realized there's like we have the 2 ones and then a ton of 3 mana ramp spells because we're actually green. So maybe we don't need all that ramp. And yeah, I think that's about it. Kaya's Ghost Form works really nice as well. I have it on paper, but I actually took it out because I feel like Hexproof is just a little bit better. And in regular EDH, it's a lot easier to actually do that. So we're going to try this version of Muldrotha, see how we do. Also, like, comment, and subscribe. And let's play some Magic the Gathering. I was thinking about playing Historic Best of 3 ranked again to show everyone how it's done, right? Climb up to Mythic every month again, be miserable. But I've got the itch going a little bit to play best of 3 historic. So if that's something someone is interested in watching, I certainly will. Keep in mind it will almost entirely be control decks because I am not doing much else. I am not playing no aggro deck. No, 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 no. Okay, I kind of like this hand, sort of. Not really. I like it enough. I've only played against this once, and I think I just beat it with a sweeper. Oh, alright. Opponent did not like their hands and didn't want a mulligan. Sure. With that commander in mind, I think I want another board wipe in here. Crux of Fate might be a good one. We have so many tutors, it don't feel like I need a ton of sweepers, especially when you usually only cast like 1 sweeper a game. But there's an argument for maybe running more than 1 in a deck like this, especially when you're sort of trying to play to the board. We're not like a super creature heavy Muldrotha list though. But I think Crux of Fate could come in here. Or Old Rustine is weird. We can drop that. Remove a creature for a sweeper. That feels like a good idea. Also, maybe the 4-mana Eternal Witness could come in as well to pick up spells, because Muldrotha does not do that. Not really. Crux of Fate. But for now, I suppose I won't. Muldrotha is certainly better the more opponents you have, because he is quite slow. And the value is nice, but when all of your opponents are geared towards you, you know, quote-unquote, your one opponent, it's hard to just sort of play, what's it called, goldfish, and do whatever you want. While your opponent's, like, not disrupting you, right? Though I like Muldrotha lists that don't need Muldrotha, right? I don't need Muldrotha to win the game. I like decks like that. Or Muldrotha lists like that, at least. But you could say it's kind of like every Muldrotha... What? Oh, right, it's a sliver deck. I was like, a Spartan? Spartan me? It's slivers. It's actually slivers. It's not shrines. So Crux of Fate was a good idea, huh? I suppose we... There's a few... well, that's annoying. I can kill that. I can kill this, though, with maybe Vraska. That's probably not a good idea, is it? Alright, well, we're going to do this. I mean, maybe it is. We can Vraska kill this so they don't have haste. Can I leave up double blue? Not really. Let's do this on black. Okay, I can if I do this. But then I'm not casting Emergent Sequence, and that seems wrong, but I think I will wind up having to counterspell something important right now, so I don't die. Because if I don't leave it up right now, it could be a while till I cast it. They shocked themselves and just didn't use the mana on the off chance they get a 1-mana sliver that they can cast, but they could just they could just wait on this, right? They didn't have to snap that off there. Alright, so I think here I'm going to kill the not haste. No, I think we should kill the haste sliver, because when they play their commander, it will have haste. That's another sweeper. It's one of our recurring sweepers, so killing their commander's not great, but gotta do what you gotta do. I don't imagine Vraska's gonna live, even though Vraska isn't really gonna plus on anything, so I don't think I'm too upset about this. What do you do? I was about to call this a different kind of back sliver. I almost said a naughty word. Alright. Are we just running out Muldrotha here, or just scriptures? I think we can run this out first. Yeah. Oh, we could have emergency sequenced the land so it doesn't die to... No, I just can't cast it. I did that backwards. We could make this a creature and then make it an artifact, and it's sitting there forever, and now it isn't. The more slivers they have, the less likely they are to deal with scriptures. Alright, well, we knew that's what they drew for the turn. Looks like they have no interest in doing anything about it. Just going to take 5 and pass. And then they'll have the first sliver next turn. Blue, red, white, black, green. Yep. All shock lands too, huh? No, Sulphur Falls is a check land. Well, if they had an answer to this, I feel like they'd snap it off. Is this better than Muldrotha? I think it is, actually. Especially how Muldrotha's not getting me any value immediately. And if they had a counterspell, they couldn't counter this. Okay. I think Kalma's all we need here. That is the +2/+0/1 Cleavy boy. Sure. Alright, well that doesn't have haste, we don't care. This is a massive brick wall for our opponent to try to deal with. At this point, I guess I will Muldrotha and pass. We're feeling pretty good. We don't have Wash Away up. We could have just held this up forever and demanded that our opponent deals with Kama. Yeah. They play a sliver every turn, or maybe 2 slivers every turn with Cascade, but we just have so many 3/3s. They also didn't even try. Like, they could have just cast something and cascaded into the penultimate answer. I don't really know what it would be, but... GG's. That 3-1, it was giving us the beats there for a second. It was clapping cheek. Alright, so this is Shrines. Every time I look at that art, I have no idea what I'm looking at. Like, what is this? Like, is that an eyeball? You got your face, the little face here, little mouth. Mirror. And then it's like flying, but it... Oh, jeez. I don't know, man. They've got the correct art, though. Look at them. Look at them. I wish it moved. I wish he wobbled or something. Maybe that's asking too much. He gave you a little uwu. A little uwu face. Also, the boards, it seems as though the play boards, there's like some that are like restricted to the weekly events or something. At least it feels like that. We have 2 cards that blow up enchantments, right? And this one we can do over and over, which is quite, like, nuclear. The only card we're kind of scared of is, like, I don't know. There's not a ton of ways they, like, really answer Muldrotha. Also, it seems as though they're not here. Okay. We don't have any blue mana, but we don't have any blue cards. Oh, nope, they're just back. Unless their mulligan was extremely difficult. Alright, I guess running this out now seems fine, right? We can maybe hit them a couple times. If it flips, we're happy as well, right? How does it flip? Oh, right, the text is broken color-wise. It's not supposed to be this color. If I just don't cast a spell, it flips? Okay, so we can just forego casting Arcane Signet? Oh no, my opponent did not cast a spell. Alright, so someone has to cast 2 spells in a turn to flip back. I'm fine with dumping Intervention to keep this around. Because when this is in play like this, my opponent just can't do anything, right? Like every time they play an enchantment, I blow it up. So I'm actually very interested in never doing anything. I think it's totally reasonable to just not do anything. Sure. It is kind of on our opponent to do something. They can even flash in their commander to, like, block this. I feel like that's what's on their radar right now. Uncharted Haven. There's a snow version of this, isn't there? Yeah, there is, so, okay. I don't think I've played against that one. Alright, that is just a 2/2. Sure. That's fine. Alright, found the blue mana. I think we're just going to swing again. They have a bunch of mana here, but that's fine. We'll run this out. Maybe steal a good card. I don't know. Oh, well, we didn't do that. I guess Terramorphic Expanse, right? No, we'll take Thriving Isle. Because it taps for... Oh, right. Can you just not play it? If it's not if it's a land? Yeah, looks like it. Alright, I have no answer to that, but obviously they're an enchantment deck. But now they have to block twice, though, right? They have to double block? No, they don't. That's a 3/3. Well, this is annoying. They cast 2 spells, too, so this flips back. Odd, even, odd. So I can name odd, and they're stuck with this thing? Okay. I wonder if they trade. Oh, well, one doesn't want to play Magic anymore. Okay, well, that was easy. They weren't in a terrible spot, but I mean, they can even just block here. What does this actually do here? Weaver of Harmony, other enchantment creatures, blah, blah, blah. Copy and activate or triggered ability. Okay, so it, like, doubles up in a shrine effect. Sure. I feel like I'm pretty well positioned against Shrine decks, honestly. At least in my onions. We have Wilt, we have Binding of the Old Gods, we have a Zendikar Rising pack. What? We have did I set the volume? I did. The 2/2 that was just in play. Maelstrom Pulse. Assassin's Trophy. Fuzzy playing Corvold. The black-green Brawl here. Alright, I don't have black mana. Well, I kind of do with a Sphere. It's not like the best black mana, but... I think we're gonna play this on green. And then run out Sphere turn 1. Kind of lets me play Stitcher Supplier next turn, but I think I'm gonna play Guardian Idol. I just want the Sphere in play. Alright, that's fine. Corvold can run Mana Dorks quite... actually, they want to run Mana Dorks, right? Because you want to get rid of... Oh yeah, I'm supposed to not pick my hair. You want to get rid of... you want to be able to sacrifice things. Huh. Okay. They, like, spent a mana off the Goose to Harrow, so that seems fine. We have this. It doesn't do anything without blue and black, which I can cycle green. Okay, so I can play it. Let's see. Float this into green. And then I'll have blue-black. So green. Oh, hey. Well, I guess I drew it anyways. Pay with blue-black. Put a card to my hand, basically. But it has to be a permanent. Gonti isn't bad, but I think we want Binding of the Old God. Oh, we get to pick up the Sphere as well. Look at that. That was really good. That's the best that card has ever been. Oh my goodness. Wow, that was great. That was great. Oh, I forgot they were red for a second. I'm like, what the... Okay, I don't really care about this, but I'm kind of interested in just blowing anything up. So I'm just going to blow it up. Okay, play this, run out the Sphere. Here, when our opponent plays their commander, we have Casualties of War, which is extremely devastating in this board state. Especially if all they do is sacrifice the Goose, which I think they will. I don't see them sacrificing on land. Okay, opponent just doesn't do anything. I don't know what that means. What do they possibly leave up here? We're going to just put the Triumph in play. I have no idea. I have no idea what this means. Let's find out. They make a food. That's adorable. And I think I'm going to play Stitcher Supplier. Seems fine. If it dies, we can reanimate it. If we don't animate something of our opponents. Whoop. We can also just mill into something spicy, right? We did not. We milled over Bolas' Citadel and Emergent Ultimatum. That doesn't feel great. Alright, can you play your commander now? Okay, thanks. There we go. This will flip, right? This is going to flip before I can kill it. Yep. I think it still targets it, but I have no idea what happens after. Like, is it a good idea to target this with Casualties of War? Does anyone know? I don't know what happens. I actually don't know how this works. If I target it and it flips into a land, does it still get blown up by this? I guess I'm willing to give it a chance. I don't see it being as that devastating, right? So, unless it just flat counters my Casualties of War, then... Alright, so they have Veil of Summer. Do I blow up Korvold? Whenever sacrifice a permanent, put a 1/1 counter on Korvold. Or attacks. Okay, so I can wait till combat. Okay. How many things in their deck make treasure tokens? What? That does... What? Okay. In that case, I should blow this up so they don't make a bunch of treasure tokens? And then we just have to deal with Korvold somehow? Yeah, Veil of Summer just blew me out of the game. Okay. Can I do anything now? I don't know. What do I do now? If I had a way to pick some cards up here. I don't think Regrowth is in this deck. They're running just extremely... Like, you don't really want to run cards that are, like, good with Korvold in play. Because the whole point is to, like, kind of win the game off of Korvold. Not really his other stuff here. I don't really have any good targets. I guess I just take the biggest thing. What do you draft into? Can technically draft into some good things, so I'm willing to just play it. We can just cycle the sphere here off of black. Of course, they have a removal spell. Why wouldn't they? And pass. Well, did we play a land this turn? I'm not sure. We can just sacrifice this again. Alright. I'm like 2 seconds from scooping. I don't think we can... I mean, yeah, whatever. Drew too many cards. Congratulations. There's nothing I can do there. There's way too much value. Yeah, Veil of Summer just completely blew me out. I really didn't expect Veil of Summer. It was completely off my radar. I guess it explains why they didn't cast Korvold and just left up... Like, I wouldn't even have done that. I would not have... Even if I had Veil of Summer in hand, would not have left up all the mana to leave up a single, like... Whatever, to, like, skip your entire turn to leave up Veil of Summer is just not a good idea. But it worked out for our opponent. Certainly. Alright, so... Rats. We have a sweeper in hand, so I guess I just keep it, right? Because they play, what is it, Relentless Rats, or the other one? Whoa, we can't play Lotus Field. Let's not do that. It's the 2 mana of 2/1. Rat Colony, not Relentless Rats. El Rato Colorino. Alright, come on, Mnemonic Sphere, do something cool. Can we play this next turn? Suppose we can. Is it a good idea? If we want to play this on 4, it's a good idea. And I kind of want to do that. So I suppose I will. Well, your deck doesn't do much else, so I don't see what is so thought-provoking right now. They can sacrifice a rat colony to play a rat colony. They can definitely do that if they choose. We can blow this up with Field of Ruin. I kind of like doing that right now. Oh, I kind of wanted to play the... Yeah, did I misplay? I should have played the card I was just talking about, huh? Yeah, we should have played Lotus Field. Now we have to draw a land that's untapped. That was a mistake. We're not immediately dead, but it's not looking good. Put ourselves in a kind of vulnerable position. Potentially one turn slower on our sweeper could cost us our life here. Oh, they don't have another land, though, so they can't double up on their ratty boys here. But we're dead if we don't draw a land. Probably. Have to discard? Well, we're not playing Comma. Yep, I think this game boiled down to we didn't do anything, so cool. If we played, let's see, played it now. No, it wasn't fast enough. Actually, Phyrexian Scriptures wouldn't have saved us. We actually needed to do something else, so. Alright, lost to 2-mana 2/1s. Okay, well, if there was ever a strategy to not really think about ever, that's one of them. I want to play a rat deck, but Elden Ring looking good here. Yeah, it is looking pretty spicy. 5-color Elden Ring. I wonder if I'd get yelled at if I put hashtag Elden Ring in my video. Probably. I like this hand, I guess. Right, we have this. We have this. It's a slow matchup, because again, it's just shrines. Whoop. I don't have the mana for this, but we... No. Okie dokie. So we can Neverwinter Dryad for a land, and then maybe spam it with Muldrotha eventually, given the time. I think we can just cycle this first. Oh, well, that's good as well. I think this is better, though. Get a blue or a black? Green. No, we get a blue, so we have double. Oh, it has to be a forest. Never mind. We cannot. The other one gets any basic. Oh, well, that's great. Kind of have to blow that up. And I think I will. That's pretty good. So far, our opponent does not have any crazy card advantage engine going. Although neither do we. How close are we to casting this? Green, green. Simply 2 mana of almost any color combination, actually. Okay, so we can play Muldrotha and play a Chromatic Sphere. Okay. Their hand must be really bad. Must be really bad there. So we run this out. I could have waited till I had Giant's Amulet, maybe. Oh, this card. Why? Why? Every game. Every game. Can I deny it by doing some busted things off of a Emergent Ultimatum? It's going to sack the Chromatic Lantern, so I have the Mind Stone mana. So we can do this, we can steal it eventually with this, and we can play this that doesn't do much. Brontodon does it. I don't have the mana to immediately use it, though. But it is an answer. Is there another one, though? Is there a better one? Wilt. I can force it by, like, Jin-Gitaxias, Wilt, and... No, I guess I can't force it. I can't force it. Alright, so we'll just do these 3. That seems fine. I don't think they're going to give me Wilt here, actually. So we get Jin-Gitaxias and Best to See God. Yep, they snapped it off. That's quite nice. Well, our opponent is willing to play against Jin-Gitaxias while also playing against all this nonsense, so we'll see what happens here. There's a chance, for all they know, we still have an answer to this. I think I would have given myself Wilt. Pretty sure I would have done that. Because unless you answer Sea God, it's going to steal Sanctum of All. Well, that gets countered. But they knew about that, so they have to have something else. They have a Wrath of God. Alright. Oh, that makes a little bit more sense then. Command Zone, yep. That makes a little bit more sense. We found it anyways. So we're going to just tutor for the 3 mana Naturalize. Right? Wait, let me just make sure. I can get the 4 mana one. But I think getting this one is better, Outland Liberator. So I can, like, run this out at the same time. Whoop. And then blow up their Sanctum of All, so they don't just win the game. And then we can steal the blue Honden. Never mind. Okay, that's annoying. This doesn't have a super awesome ultimate, so I'm not feeling it. I'm just going to leave with Gonti. Idyllic Tutor is decent, right? I almost want to take Cultivate, but we'll take Idyllic Tutor. And then we run out some ramp. I think black and green. Alright, well, they're drawing a ton of cards, but there's not really anything I can do about it. I'm kind of close to being able to do something about it, sort of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, not really. Hollowed Haunting. Alright. So now we're looking for, like, what, Casualties of War? That doesn't even do that much against what they're going. Oh, we get to Boseiju here. That's really nice. Okay, let's Idyllic Tutor. How many enchantments do I have? Just Sagas that are, like, okay against them. Binding seems quite nice right now. So I will Binding the blue Honden. I will channel Boseiju to blow up the Haunting. Oh, this feels really good. Oh, that feels really good. Okay. I didn't even count Boseiju as an enchantment answer, and that is another one we have. It also was discounted because we had a legendary. Alright, so they don't have any serious threats in play anymore. Honestly, the best cards in their deck are in their graveyard, so if they can recur them, we're in trouble. And I think there's like a couple recursion spells, though you don't really see them that often. Opponent certainly wishes they had this a bit earlier. They do not have Ulamog in their deck, because they settled on 10 lands. They didn't get a 10-mana card. Unless it was already in hand. I don't think we're that scared of Ulamog, though. We can almost just kill it with Liliana's Minus. Certainly don't have a lot of strong things in play. Meat Hook for 0. I think I would have done it for 1. Oh, speaking of Ulamog. Alright, looks like we're coming back from that blue Honden drawing like 18 cards. That's pretty cool. We can make them lose their last card, and I think that's reasonable. Or attempt to, given the... could be an instant. I'm going to pitch Guardian Idol. I could pitch Ulamog, but I think pitching Guardian Idol is fine. They pitch Settle the Wreckage. Well, that certainly wasn't going to do anything. Wait, let's crack Mindstone. Kind of looking for land. There we go. Alright, so you here and pass. We could trade damage back and forth, but I don't think I'm interested in doing that much. Red Honden. They have 2 shrines, so it deals 2 damage, but it deals it to anything, so it can attack Liliana. And now it can't because we just win the game. Oh, I didn't even need another land. My bad. Oh no, I can't target it because they have Shroud. They have Shroud, I actually can't target it. Opponent probably did not realize that. In fact, I shouldn't have clicked this because they just sacrifice it in response. So actually, the only things I can target is Arcane Signet and the World Tree. I actually have a terrible Ulamog right now. It isn't good at all. But they scooped so fast. To the surprise of no one, people scooped Ulamog. I mean, it's still a 10-10. But no, they have an answer to it. They have an answer to it, right? I needed it after I cracked... Yeah. After they cracked the Mind Stone. But they found an answer because they can just put Elspeth Conqueror's Death on top. So I eat Arcane Signet in a land, or maybe Dryad, I don't know. Maybe just these two, Dryad and World Tree. If I hadn't already clicked here, maybe, I don't know, it looked like I missed it, so I probably could reassess. And just take these 2 cards, and they're stuck with, like, not infinite mana colors, but they put an answer to Ulamog on top of their deck, cast it, and they're back in it, because I don't have an answer to this, right? I sort of do. If I get Muldrotha going, I can blow it up with Binding. Okay. They also, in that game, actually had 2 instants or sorceries in the Jin-Gitaxias turn. In like a 38 shrine deck, so they kind of got lucky with that as well. They actually had 4? No, 3. It was Settle the Wreckage, Swords to Plowshares, and Wrath of God. I really was not respecting a Wrath of God. I suppose there's plenty of sweepers in shrines, though, because I don't really play to the board. I think it's reasonable to crack for a land, even though the Mind Stone counts as a land, because I can still continue the game looking for other things, not necessarily just, no, Ulamog. Ulamog's not the end-all be-all, and in that instance, it actually wasn't. Well, I guess it was, because our opponent scooped to it instantly without, like, assessing that it wasn't good. This is fine. Sure. Feathers. It depends if they go for Feather immediately. Actually, no, I would say it depends if they play Feather on... They're on the play. Yeah, they're on the play, so this is hard. Alright, so we're going to get black. This is actually... This might be impossible. If I was on the play, I can win, but I'm not. So now it's like I have to find Eldest Reborn, or they have to respect a counterspell, which I don't have. Let's put this on blue to posture. I'm not going to play the amulet. This will not do anything this game. They're not really going to attack Muldrotha, so it's kind of pointless. I'm just going to leave up a counterspell. I'm curious if they respect it. Something tells me this is not really a commander that can... Oh, no. Alright. Alright. It either worked or they just didn't have a second white source. Alright, so now we can leave up Omen and then Binding, but Binding doesn't do much anymore because they can protect Feather through nonsense, given a 3rd white source. They shocked themselves here, or bolted themselves, so if that was their only untapped land, we're kind of excited, I guess. Looks like it might be. So we get another black here? I think we do. We do have a triple black card in hand. There's not really any red card that protects Feather through a Binding, so this feels pretty good. There's a bunch of red cards they can cast right now, but no red that saves Feather, so they don't even try to cast it. Alright, so we can run out the amulet now. They can recast Feather. They did not have a mana source last turn, though. What are they thinking about? It's a castable card, actually. What is this? A 1-mana Shatter? Raise the Effigy. Okay, they... sure. Well, we knew that's what they drew for the turn. Their hand is the same as it was last turn. Blade Historian? Attacking spell creatures of... Okay. Let's get Triome, I think. Yeah. It's nice to cycle Triome when you draw it, but I don't think we're ever really going to do that. We will play Gonti, and that is it. It blocks the Blade Historian quite nicely. I don't care if they dump a combat trick into it. Oh, we can actually just... Oh, no, they're all... We really got 3 2-mana... Alright, I'll take that one. This one kills Feather with Gonti. I will certainly block if they let me. But now they have white combat tricks up. So there's like a bunch of them. They could technically have a burn spell as well. We haven't seen any. I am going to snap block. Any combat trick I get out of your hand while Feather is not in play is a win. I don't really care if you kill Gonti. This feels like a win. They also just dumped a Light of Hope on this. Wow. That's actually kind of surprising to me. I guess it's good news. Now they also can't cast Feather, right? I mean, they can, but then it's just exposed. Oh, okay. I didn't even read that. They have the ability to exile things repeatedly with that card. That's pretty solid. That's actually really good. Yeah, that's actually really good against us right now. Tutor for Casualties of War? That seems weird. We could just run out Muldrotha. They don't really kill it, right? There's not, like... They can run Swords to Plowshares. I just don't really expect that. Alright. Especially if they dedicate 2 mana to stopping another card in my graveyard. I guess every deck has like colorless card hate in a mana rock with this thing. That's really funny. I'd be absolutely insane to block. Also, it can't really deal that much damage to me. It's just 6, right? Unless they dump more combat tricks into it, which would also surprise me. They eat my binding. That makes sense. I could have baited the land. Maybe I could get them to eat the land instead. Even though it's a worse target. But I think they always take binding. That makes sense. I don't feel interested in... Let's see. Recasting that. We can just run out Kama. And the strength with this is I can just tap down their creatures over and over. Opponent agrees. I can't cast the thing out of my deck. So yeah, that was a weird game. It seemed as though they had no way to protect. They had no like white protection spell, which is kind of the entire point to Feather. If you don't have a protection spell, you kind of just can't keep your hand. Especially against a black deck, because you expect removal. GG's. What are we, 4-1? 5-1? Alright. Playing against Light-Paws is extremely uninteresting, but we have an answer to it, and if it doesn't work, we lose. If we do, maybe we win, and the whole game boils down to that. Of course, our opponent's on the play. Why wouldn't they be? So now it gets a little bit harder to kill it, but it's still not impossible. Opponent decided to not cast their commander, which this happened last time, is, I think, always a mistake. I don't think you ever care about other creatures in your deck at all. All it does is make your, like, options work. I don't know. This doesn't seem like a good idea at all, in my opinion. But, I don't know. Maybe they're onto something. Maybe they're onto something that I am not. So I will blow this up. Now they can cast Light-Paws and slap a bunch of stuff on it. Jin-Gitaxias is terrible in this matchup. We can tutor for like an edict. They yet again... Oh, wait, no. This is Light-Paws. What the... Dude, that art is great. I've never seen that art. Oh, look at it. Light-Paws is a chick? I didn't even know that. Wow. Alright, alright, alright. Bow down to our furry overlords, dude. Oh my god. I think we're going to cast this and then cultivate. We could knight... No, King Betrayal is not really going to steal anything that kills Light-Paws except a Pacify, which would be absolutely hilarious. Let's try to see if we can get one. Black. Put the black in play here. So we can try to steal a Pacify effect. This is another creature. Opponent is really off the main game plan here, which is quite surprising. There's not a lot of answers to this. They have no lands in hand, though, so maybe there is. We could just run this out, though. We don't really care about... Like, there's no way they get rid of it, right? Unless it's just a Pacify, but that's fine. They're mostly enchantments. Honestly, this might not really do anything, but it is a 5/5 and a blocker, and I'd rather it die before Muldrotha. So it's kind of just like a 7-mana 5/5. It can get rid of some equipment. I don't know. I'm not feeling like this is going to do much here. Mana rocks get countered. I'm sure they are running Source of Plowshares, though. Might not be in their hand, but I'm sure they at least have that card. Look at that Light-Paws. That's going to be my desktop background now, dude. I can't see the lower half of it, though. That is so funny. Who drew this? Nijimark. Couldn't tell you. Alright, well, we knew that's what they drew for the turn. Oh! Oh! They're targeting it. What is this? Is it the Pacify? Are you going to Pacify Jin-Gitaxias? I think so. Come on. There we... Oh, no! No! Opponent doesn't work! Oh! Oh! They had the soft answer in hand. They could have just slapped this on there. Oh, you know what's wicked funny about that is they read this for a minute too, dude. They sat there and read this. The classic 3 for 0. They read this for so long, and they're like, alright, if I March of Otherworldly Light Jin-Gitaxias, it can't not work. They could have just given it Defender too, right? Like, they had enchantments in hand to do the Light-Paws thing. They didn't even have to be scared of Jin-Gitaxias. They could have enchanted Light-Paws and simply gave it flying with an enchantment out of deck. Whoops. Oh man, that's funny. Alright, 6-0. No, 6-1. Oh my god. Dude, they even had the Uwu art too. I actually feel bad. That's so painful. Oh, dude, it feels so painful. Because, I mean, it's a good thing we didn't cast Muldrotha. They would have marched him into exile. Alright, this hand is a ramp spell and nothing else, but we're against mono red. A lot of artifacts in mono red. If it's an aggressive deck, I don't think I like this hand. Although I don't think it is an aggressive deck. Binding the Old Gods has been MVP so far. It's definitely one of my favorite cards. I actually, just today, I got a bunch of cards in my commander deck that weren't foil. I bought all like the foils for like $1. I got $1 of... Oh, they scooped. Oh, rip. I got Binding the Old Gods and foiled today. It's hard. This one's a pretty nice foil. It's decent. It's decent. It's decent. I always want to take the card out of my sleeve when I play it, just so like I can bask in the foilness of it. All right, we got a Mastery Orb. Oh, I think it was actually the second one. We got them like back to back or something. Mastery 3. I've been just going for these arts here. I'm sure I'll get them all. I always do. Oh, I got the Boseiju. Oh, I didn't even know that was there. Oh, sweet. All right. Let's get the old turtle cannon here. Oh, I only had one. Oh, never mind. Boseiju is certainly a depressing card. Invoke the Winds. That's one I'm interested in playing. That was one I was interested in crafting as well. I don't think it's for Muldrotha, but it's pretty nice. Let's put the special Boseiju art up. Whoop. There we go. Alright. Alright. We have yet to play Snake. The old Snake mom there. The Lamia. Which is one of 2 Lamias in all of Magic the Gathering. At least given my search history. In the Gatherer. What I could find, at least. And there's only 1 card in all of Magic the Gathering with the word impossible in it. And it's the 3-mana weird cantrip from Kamigawa. No black mana. We're against Kenrith, which for some reason I always mix up with Kethis. We have a Springbloom Druid, which I also got for my paper commander version of this deck. I did not get Jin-Gitaxias on paper. Not super big on that one. Usually when you play it, you immediately become the most threatening thing in the game, and everyone tries to kill you. And then they realize it's kind of easy to kill it. And because you have multiple opponents that can sync up stuff in the same turn, like it really just doesn't work out too well. All right, we're gonna get blue and black. Kind of need green, and I don't really need double black. I also don't really need double blue. If I get double blue now, I never need blue again. So let's just do double blue right now. Alright, don't do anything scary. Fine. I'm surprised how popular this card is. It's one of those cards I'm really not big on in any way. I think I want to Eldritch Reborn now. And get rid of the Dryad. Deny a 2nd additional land drop. And mess up their colors, potentially. I will swing. They can't really give this thing haste in the same turn anymore, unless they play Mox Amber, which I don't really expect. This is the Mardu Triome, right? Yeah. I do not have Mardu Triome. I was going to get one for standard... Wait, what? For my modern deck, but I didn't. Why did they do that? I feel like that killing my 1/1 doesn't make a lot of sense. Especially how it's a good target for me to reanimate with this. I don't really agree with that at all. It seems very strange to me. Alright, we have 2 of each basic. They have 2 cards left. I am fine with running this out right now. I will put it to the graveyard. Oh, it's a... Oh. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect this to be a Shrine deck. I am not going to lie. Do I want their Dryad? No, I think I want my Springbloom Druid. We could take their Dryad, though, because I can always cast my Springbloom Druid. Yeah, let's run this back out. I mean, sure. Why not? Opponent is now on the back foot for quite a while. Yeah, I think they see the writing on the wall. We are very well positioned against the Shrine decks, so hopefully they're still super popular. And they seem to be. It's kind of cool to see that. You don't really see a lot of... I mean, you never see metas with, like, 5-color decks, right? There was one standard cycle with, like, Return to Ravnica. It was, like, Thragtusk, Snapcaster Mage, Restoration Angel, Azorius Charm decks. Because they had Shocklands, Checklands. They didn't have Triomes or anything. And I think there was Evolving Wilds as well. I'm not sure. Ooh! Oh! It's him! I've never played against I'm Not Fine. I've never actually played against him. Oh no, he's playing Burgie. Alright, oh no, dude. Oh no. Alright, I'm gonna keep this hand. I'm gonna keep it. Oh god. I wonder if he notices. He might not notice. He might not notice. Chromatic Sphere, okay. Alright, alright. So we play this, we play... I think I'm gonna run out the colored one first. It might end up mattering. Then we cultivate. We can tutor for something quite nice as well. Looks like he's racing for something here. What is this? Oh, just a rock of his own. Makes sense. Alright, so we can play... We cannot play that first. We'll cultivate for black in blue. Oh boy. We're going to be on each other's YouTube. If he does put this video on his YouTube, I don't know. Oh, he's missing land drops, though. No. No. Gave my opponent a rat. He might just scoop Takenuma, though. Like, that's just so good. Alright, well, you drew a land for Aetherflux Reservoir. Alright, I do not know what's going on, but it looks pretty spicy. Let's see if you can beat Kama, though. I'm not going to tap down a Menosaurus. Okay. Sure. I can't imagine I'm instantly dead. Draw a card, haste. Okay. Double cast? Okay. I can deactivate... I can tap this down to make it so it can't work. One, it will get a lot of mana here. He only has one floating, though? Yeah, he only has one floating, but I can tap Aetherflux Reservoir before he can activate it to kill me. If that's what he's going to do. I can't imagine he is. But he's getting kind of close here. Yep. Yep. They gained 5. Okay, so now we'll tap this. He gains a bunch of life. Oh no, he can kill me on my upkeep. He got me. He got me. Because he can just activate on my turn. Right? There's nothing I can do to stop this? I don't think so. I can thirst for, like, Tail's End to stifle the trigger. That's about it, though. I'm going to go yell at him in Discord. Maybe he doesn't realize? Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect to die there. I really... Okay. Leave it to him to do some crazy turn 5 combo thing. He also missed a land drop, so there's an argument he could have done it a turn faster. I've never seen anything like that before. That is really depressing. He also had it, too. Like, he had everything he needed. No. And he's like, my second loss, too. At least it wasn't the first loss. At least it wasn't the first loss. Dang it. That's so depressing. I thought I had it. So we could have, like, tutored for... You know what? We could have tutored for Wilt, right? We had the mana. We could have Mastermind's Acquisition for Wilt. Blew up his win condition. But I really didn't expect to die. I just didn't expect to die. I guess I should have had more of an expectation that was what was going to happen, given what he was actually doing. Because he usually plays stuff like that, so it's not too surprising, but that's unfortunate. I didn't win our first encounter. The rivalry has begun. Alright, so we play this on blue. Oh, I don't think I've ever cast this card in this deck yet. We'll see if it works. I kind of don't expect it to, but I'm not going to probably blow anything up with this. Yeah, we're going to try to get this to work. Maybe we can draw cards. Do we dig up for a land? I think we do. We kind of want an island. We also kind of want another black source. I think black is... No. Let's get an island. If we lose the Coldsteel Heart, we're going to wish we did get an island. Jin-Gitaxias would probably be good against what's going on here, right? Because they need to cast instant sorceries to flip this. They did not kill the 1/1. That's pretty cool. We will... These are both instants, so we can wait. I'll just swing. And we finally get to maybe find out if Discover the Impossible lets me cast a sorcery. Sure. What does this flip into? A 2/2 that has weird text on it. Okay. I'm willing to just attempt to find a counterspell for anything, because I don't expect a ton of spells to be cast. Looks like that is not the case. If the exile card is painted as instant... Oh, no, it specifically says instant on the card, so I'm actually just stupid. Let's take Phyrexian Scriptures and put it to my hand. I think that's reasonable. We can blow up these. This is not an artifact. This is also not an artifact. You're forced to flip it. And it does have Summoning Sickness, so... They get 2 lands. Okay. Nylea's Intervention. This is another card I think is a little underplayed. So it's cool to see someone playing it. This just puts dragons in your hand, right? Yeah. Getting kind of close to that, I guess. They didn't play the tap land first. Kind of weird. We also drew cards off it. Nice. Alright, so we're going to play Phyrexian Scriptures, I think. Yeah. Put a counter on our 4/4. It does become an artifact, so it's kind of more vulnerable, but I think that's fine. This Smoldering Egg really has no way to flip in their deck, it seems. It's kind of interesting. We also drew Binding yet again. It's kind of funny. We can Frogify like a spicy land, or a dragon that they like tutor at some point, and just blow up the board with the rest of them. They cannot cast their commander right now. Oh, this is a dragon, huh? It's actually a dragon? Look at that. They get a little dragon sword value. That's cute. They have 5, 6, 7. They can simply cast their commander anyways. Oh, no. So this gives them an egg, which is why they probably play it, so it, like, when the egg doesn't, like, die or whatever, they get something out of it. But we have an answer to the egg. But there was certainly a good dragon to play in that spot. Wait, what? How come they didn't get the egg? Oh, it exiles itself. Never mind. I'm mixing it up with the Phoenix then. That's my bad. I got you. Alright, so we can play this. Do we play Ultimatum? When there's no opposing board, it feels like a very good card to play. So we'll play you. I can get Elspeth's... No, it's non-creature. It's non-creature. Oh, there's actually not a lot of crazy stuff. We have Bolas Citadel already in hand, unfortunately. I guess I'll just get this. I mean, you know. Who? Why not? And Eldritch Reborn can reanimate... Threaten to reanimate something. Make them discard. We can steal, I guess, Smoldering Egg, given the current situation. If they kill Jin-Gitaxias, they have to deal with it yet again from the Eldritch Reborn. So there's that. So I'm probably going to Binding their commander. They do not cast their commander. They cast a 6/6 that blocks, which is reasonable. Little do they know, it won't work. They lose the last card in hand. Oh, no, they get to draw. They get to draw. Never mind. Never mind. Let's hope it isn't Veil of Summer, or I swear to God. Let's play Binding first, see what happens. Alright, they go down to 2. Cool. No more shock lands for the opponent. I'll run out Gonti here. I'm not going to pay life, because I don't know, they could do some crazy stuff against me. I will take Drakuseth. Not particularly strong, but it is now mine. Also, I think they neglected to draw a card earlier, although they might have used it to pay for something. Yeah. So they realized their commander alone doesn't do it, and unless they had a board wipe, they actually just died at what's in play. They could have avoided this if they gave me... No, wait, because Kiora Best of Sea Gods makes an 8/8, so they actually would have just died, because we would have had more power there, so no. It wasn't entirely wrong to take this. It actually wound up being quite a nuisance for them. Because if they do sweep the board, we have this, right? That's kind of why I like this in this spot. So I can just put another creature in play after some kind of board wipe or removal spell. Although, it's hard to cast either of those with Jin-Gitaxias in play. Gitaxias. I call him Gitaxian for some reason. So, GG's. We're 9-2. I've never even thought to, like, try to play a Tiamat deck. But I'm sure the right Jeff. I'm sure it's pretty fun. I don't know. I don't know how many dragons I have. I don't think I can keep this. Kind of like a one land. I kind of want to get rid of Field of Ruin. Again, not excited about this card ever. Even blowing up a World Tree, it's just like, who cares? Opponent probably doesn't care. It just doesn't ever feel good. Oh, wait, what is this? 4 mana 3/3. Flash flying. Your historic spells have flash. What? Okay. I mean, it can be a Super Friends deck, but giving Planeswalkers instant speed doesn't let you... Oh, Gitaxian Probe, is that where I'm getting it from? Probably. I played a lot of that in my day. Let me tell you, that is not... That isn't... What? Okay. All right. Nope. We're gonna find out the hard way what's going on here. I'm gonna go to the forest. We need second black. Cultivate fixes the rest of it. I think we're just gonna get a swamp because of Crux of Fate here. And then Cultivate can do whatever later. I really like Chromatic Sphere. This card seems like it's always like busted. Like it's never like an honest card. It actually designed to be like a dishonest card. Just the way it's written, it just seems really degenerate every way you slice it. I could play Earl. We have a second land in hand, but Cultivate seems a little bit better right now. Also, not having to deal damage to myself seems like a good idea. So I'll get green and blue, or double green. I guess we get double green because Uro at some point will want that. I already played land, right? This is a game where I wish I just didn't have Field of Ruin in my deck, honestly. I think I'm gonna drop it. I think I came to the conclusion this is always not good, like before or after I played this deck, so I never like took it out. But that's weird because I did assess the mana base. Kind of want to blow this up, but I can wait. It's also not super scary. Nah, we can just blow it up. It feels good to use all my mana, especially an extra land drop. Well, we can sweep the board first. Alright. No, we really want to sweep this. Yeah, we're going to wilt now. Let's not get cute. We're going to wilt now so they don't get more 1/1s in the meantime, which could wind up being good for them. We're actually close to casting Uro, and it's off of cards I won't miss too much with Muldrotha. If Muldrotha even matters, I don't think it does. Really don't. I wonder if they flash this in now. Is that what they're doing for the turn? They're just flashing this in? Giant Ox? What is going on? What is this? No, wait, doesn't this... No, that's not the second spell. I was about to say they played them backwards. When you play your second spell a turn, you get like a 1/1, but this is the boasting one. I don't know what Giant Ox means. Cruise vehicles with it. This is... Okay, okay. You have Wash Away? I guess they have Wash Away. I don't know what else it could be. Sure, you have Wash Away. That's fine. I'm not under any pressure, though. Not unless there's like a crazy vehicle. Okay, access tunnel with power. What? They can't even boast if they want to flash in their commander. They can get some martial value because they have enough attackers now. They have 2 cards in hand. Have they played? Oh, I just hit my. Okay, that was the first historic spell they cast. Twice the number of vehicles. What? Alright, well I have to play scriptures basically. I can play Liberator at the same time. Yeah, I can do everything I want. They tap their blue. I really did not expect Wash Away, let me tell you. That was not on my radar. Not the end of the world, though. Muldrotha doesn't feel all that important. They probably would have just washed away Uro if that was the thing I was going to cast there, right? Because it comes out, it doesn't come from hand. Alright, so we don't blow up the vehicle, except with the Liberator specifically. Opponent's taking their sweet time here. It's like they click pass turn or pass, and then they move their mouse way over here, and they're like, oh, I gotta do it again, and then they move it over here. Holding priority because of crewing on my turn. Hey, Ask Master Jedi. What up? So far, I think Volkmar Dead Guy is the easiest person in chat's name to have pronounced in the past 2 years. Everyone else, I'm like, I have to like really read it. It doesn't help that it changes colors every stream. I think it gives you like a random color. I don't know. Maybe it gets darker the more you talk. It feels pitch black and I just can't read it, and then I just guess who says it. Yeah, I got the Jedi part, certainly. I got that part. Alright, so I'm gonna blow this up. Wait, does it do anything? No, it's just a 5/5. It actually doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything at all. Yeah, you just don't pick. Well, either way, welcome. Alright, so we know that's their land for the... That was their draw for the turn. I can let them go to attacks first, because I can blow it up whenever I want. Okay, this has to power 3 or less. They're going to put it on... I kind of put it on this to spam the tokens, but I guess this is more damage. But this costs mana to continuously do. And you can't boast right now if you want to cast your commander. I feel like I've already won this game, but you never know. But I'm pretty sure I already won this game. I commend my opponent's deck, but it seems really... like a really steep ask for this to be a functional strategy. Which is unfortunate for them. Because it's like a creature-based deck with what it seems to be... or what seems to be a... like a value deck or something? Tempo, maybe? I don't even know what to consider this. It's way out there. But it's kind of cool. Oh, wait, we should... yeah, we should salvage. Just get more cards in our graveyard that are easier to eat with Uro here and not feel bad about it with Muldrotha in the backup, if that ends up mattering, which I don't think it will. 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeesh. I guess 5. We don't need Bolas' Citadel. We could have eaten another land as well, but I think this is reasonable. Alright. You can change color? Oh, well, he just did it. Oh, Volkmar, get wrecked. He's pink now. I didn't know that. I've never seen someone do that mid-stream. But to be fair, I'm not really much of a Twitch viewer myself. I just sort of stream. I don't actually watch Twitch, so... That is funny, though. Can I change it? Can I change everybody and force them to be a color? Ban Volkmar. Alright, you're banned. Shoot, how do I get this off the screen? Oh no, what did I just click? I broke it. I'm sorry, I broke chat. I actually broke chat. Oh, I found it. We're good. I found it. Type /color. All right. Whoa. Okay. We don't have this. we don't just have the game anymore. Opponent just exiled my graveyard and Uro. All right. Back to square one. Wow. Artifacts and is this like the black-white version that lets you choose, right? But this lets you choose one or more? Oh man, I miss Golos. I already miss Golos, dude. Farewell was printed during Golos. Sharding Sphinx? Opponent, you're supposed to be a small deck. They played small innocent creatures, and now like that I blew them all up, they're like lol 6-drops. Alright, I mean, this isn't technically completely over then. So be it. I'm going to blow this up though, because I don't want to play against it. And I will give Muldrotha hexproof for the rest of the game, if that matters. Seems like they're running board wipes though, so might not. Hey, that was a card I was thinking about tutoring here, so that's pretty cool. You get a lot of commands with slash. You would never noticed, yeah. That's funny. Oh, thanks for the follow, by the way, Master Jedi. I don't have sound when I stream, so I have to like triple check every time. I'm gonna not get the Triome because there's a chance I find it. We have cards we're not upset to lose in our hand, and I'd want to dump that last card from our opponent. I'm gonna drop Intervention. I'm gonna crack this on their access tunnel because I can replay it with Muldrotha. I think that's reasonable here. Still not really a land I like, but right now I guess it lets me play a land for the turn, which is nice, and get rid of their ability to be unblockable, which I don't even think is super relevant. Do I attack here? I think I'm winning the race if I continuously attack. I could have waited, because now they get to flash in this. Could have waited here. Yeah, maybe that was wrong. Maybe that was completely wrong. I shouldn't have given my opponent the mana to cast their commander. Yeah, that was wrong. It probably won't matter. Actually, to defend Liliana, I will not swing. We'll tutor up... I don't know. What's good here? We can spam Binding. Ulamog is good, but is it great? I think not Casualties of War. Ultimatum is good here. So I can start incurring spamming value off of different cards. You can just say Ulamog is like great no matter what though, right? I don't have a way to block flying except the Saga. I'm just going to be greedy. I'm going to be greedy. Have they cast their... No, they have not cast their commander. So they can kill Liliana because I let them flash this in. So that was a mistake. But I can recast Liliana. It's not like it's gone. Muldrotha can just recast it. Wow, they didn't cast their commander? Did they not realize they could? Okay, we're back to 1-drops. Okay. You love pink? Oh, yeah. Pink is the new black. Well, at least when I... Like, in middle school, for me... there was a lot of people at school that wore pink. It was like... I think, like, the entire Hispanic community was wearing pink where I'm from in middle school. At least from what I remember. And then in high school, everyone was wearing, like... there was a lot of goths in my high school, actually. Nashville. In my grade, there was a lot of gothic people. I was not one of them. I was the kid with the afro. Until my dad cut it off because he said it looked ugly. Which is weird because he's just balding and angry. Don't tell him I said that. Fortunately, he doesn't watch my streams, though. So I'm safe. I'm safe from the abuse. This doesn't have any other text on it, right? Okay, so our opponent finally gives up after we just vomit enough value. Doesn't really surprise me. I feel like I would have scooped the moment I cast a 1/1, but, you know, good for them for sticking it out. Another funny thing about their deck is they constantly have priority held because they're commander. So, like, unless they're clicking the thing fast, you're just stuck there for a while. That seemed more like a deck that was just cards they owned. So they kind of just got pummeled by someone who has, like, a lot of cards, and that's kind of sad, but more power to them, given something spicy a try. It's cool to see. It wasn't like, I mean, if we didn't have a sweeper, we kind of were in a pickle, you know? It wasn't like we just totally destroyed them. Alright, Ishin is just Mardu aggro. I have a tutor, I don't have double black, Narfi's betrayals, and fine. Temple of Black White. Sure. We play Temple of Take Two. Oh, look, it's an aggro card. Oh, my goodness. Alright, so we play you, and then don't do anything. Yep, I can't intervention. I don't have double black, though. I think I'm running this out. I could Thirst for Discovery, though. I kind of like Thirst for Discovery right now. What am I drawing into? I feel like it's more likely I find a good answer to nonsense by just... Yeah. By just, doing whatever here. But, I don't know. However you want to view it, the only thing that is relevant is finding a sweeper, so we'll leave up Thirst. It is an instant, right? Okay. The one that's not an instant always throws me off, but the non-instant one has that weird golden art or whatever. They can push Shift Enter as well, that does it. Alright, so they get 2 treasures. That's adorable. Lannery Storm. Some attacking tokens. Literally nothing matters. Draw cards. Look for Sweeper. I need a land, actually, so let's get rid of cards that are entirely useless, like you and you, I guess. Oh, I did not draw a land, huh? That sucks. Okay, well, we have to top deck a Sweeper, but we can't because we only have 1 black mana. Cool. Alright, moving on with our lives. Surprise to no one, we lost to Mardu aggro. There's really nothing you can do about that. Not even, like, spamming spot removal spells would really be a good thing to do there, in my opinion. Just not enough. Just not enough. Alright. Finally took another loss there. Took another loss. Alright, so hopefully it shrines again. I like Nightmare here. I think I like this. I think we like this. Fabled Passage for black? Black or blue? I think black is better here. Alright, they have a 1-mana castable card. I wonder what it could be. Let's play Command Tower, actually. That's fine. It's probably Veil of Summer, let's be real. Or a cantrip, but it's Veil of Summer. It's always Veil of Summer. Oh no, it's actually a cantrip. End step Brainstorm, not super strong. They're going to only put 1 card back here, and they're going to draw it unless they have a shuffle effect immediately. So they only get to put 1 back. This is just an example of why I'm just not big on Brainstorm, really. Well, the fact that they thought about it makes me think they have a shuffle effect. Otherwise, you just are going to draw the... Yep, of course. You're going to draw the card no matter what. Alright, sure. Hey, look, we got Cultivate. And we will play it off of a bunch of basics. Black and green, I think. Yeah, put the black in play. Alright, well if they play a creature, we can do something about it. That's not what that is. Oh look, it's a shrine deck. Wow. Alright, so we can make them discard eventually with this. I don't feel like Eldest Reborn's doing anything. At least it wasn't Sanctum of All. I've noticed they like always have that card, so that's a plus. Sure, they can hit me for 5, and then I will kill it with Eldest Reborn. This means their hand is pretty not good, right? Is that what that means? They have Negate, Idyllic Tutor. Well, now they don't. Alright, so we can play this, but I won't have Eldest Reborn mana. So I'm just going to run this out now to kill their commander. They can recast it again, though. It's not, like, terrible, but... Could have played a Temple right there. Don't think it's super relevant, though. The green Honden, so you get a bunch of 1/1s. Sure. Discard a card first and then exile the graveyard. It stacks it in the correct way for you there. Or at least that's what I've noticed sometimes. We can recur the Nightmare, but they have a negate up, so I don't even feel like that's a good thing to do. Let's put Temple here. Dig up is good. Though it plays into negate a little bit. Kind of a problem, but don't really have a choice, do I? So we take 2 and they make 2 1/1s. These are like the best shrines too. Well, no, the blue one is way up there as well. They make 3 1/1s. Oh, come on. Ugh, this is bad. Alright, just flicker Uro here, draw a card. Sure. I wonder if they counter 3 seasons. It does deny Uro. Because otherwise I get to cast Uro. Alright. They let me do this, which I did not expect. Maybe we should play Muldrotha, though. I think this is better. The 1/1s will overwhelm us eventually, though. But the negate is now a problem. Is this even? It is even. Everything's even, though, so I can't really Extinction Event. I can decline... Yeah, I can try to deny something. I don't know. I need Eldest Reborn or... No, I don't. I need something better than that. Alright. Land. What's in our graveyard that's good? Bolas' Citadel? I think they'll counter Bolas' Citadel if I were to take a wild shot in the dark. We can bait a negate with this, maybe? Please negate this? Sweet. Alright, so we got negate out of the way. Now I can tutor for a really good card. I don't really know what that card is. Oh no! Did I not cleave? I didn't cleave. I'm so stupid. I don't even know what I would have gotten there, but that was obviously a grave mistake. Whoops. Alright. Moving on. I don't know what we can do regardless. This is a problem. Oh look, a negate of my own. Just what I wanted. Can't cast either of those. Yeah, we're screwed. What's in our deck here? Ulamog would have been a good hit. Probably not good enough. At this point I was probably looking for a sweeper. And then we pass. Okie dokie. We almost are at parity because Uro does gain a lot of life, but they can just block it with a lot of things and it just dies. What does this one do? Put a counter on target shrine for each shrine you control. Okay. No. I guess I'll... no, I don't think I want to shuffle anything except that in there, so... No, I have to choose 3. This is not going to do anything, and I guess I'll put Negate back. Alright. Not the greatest thing to do there, but it's all we really could do. Scriptures kind of works. Vraska Queen kills the red Honden, but we're dead to the board now, so that's not even true. I feel like it makes way more... Okay, there we go. So I can... What do I do here? Vraska minus the red Honden. We're dead to the board, though. Dead to the board. And I probably have to kill the green Honden anyways. And then... Uro? Heroic Intervention. Well, that is not Teferi's protection, let me tell you. I think I can get rid of Intervention. Are we dead on board right now? Blocked there, that's 14. We are dead on board. Alright, well, you got me with green 1/1s. Congratulations. That really sucks. Wow. I mean, we have so many answers to this. If I didn't mess up my cleave tutor, and I actually cleaved it, I could have gotten... I think we're still dead, though. I'd have to get a sweeper, and then I'm kind of back to square one. I didn't actually, like, progress the board in any way, right? Like, we're still dying to the same nonsense. My opponent's probably, like, beside themselves that that was enough to kill us. Because that's actually crazy. We just died to, like, 2 2/2s a turn, or 2 1/1s a turn. Jeez. We were taking some burn to the face, I guess, but... The green one is, like, exponential damage. Well, sometimes you lose games like that. Alright, so I just played Ral, Storm Conduit, just the other day. Curious if it's anything like mine. Can't imagine it is, but who knows. I do have Wash Away, which is great. I'm going to cast the Modern Age next turn. I'm going to snap that off here. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to play Liberator instead. That's fine. I wonder if they're even scared of this. There's not too many things that, like, this deck runs that this blows up. So it could just smack them a few times. I'm sure they have a ton of burn spells, so it might not even, like, survive. Brawl. Alright, well, I wasn't expecting that one. Let's get rid of a card we will never have resolve, I guess. What are you doing? Are you stifling this? Okay. Sure. Kind of a weird time to do that. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. So we get rid of Uro here, and then we cast Cultivate. That means they're not leaving up a counterspell? We can actually kill Brawl? Didn't expect that. We also get to discard a card here, and I don't care about Ralzaret because we're one land away from blowing it up with Binding. Any land will do it that's untapped. I also get to see their hand, which is quite nice. Alright, we're in an excellent position now because we found it. Found the land. Counterspell, Expansion Explosion. All of these are... I think I'm going to take the Counterspell just to not, like, get cute with anything. Blow this up. This game got way harder for them. I wonder if they copy Cultivate with Expansion Explosion. That would be kind of funny, but wouldn't surprise me. Would I do that? I think I would. Would I, though? It's not like you're doing all that much with it. Am I upset if they do it, is the question? Not really. Yeah, not really. I mean, knock yourself out. It also gets it out of hand. No, they don't even think about it. I was about to say, it gets it out of their hands so they don't have a counter spell up, basically, when I go to wash away. Because they can wash away my... Oh, no, they can't wash away my wash away, can they? Because it only counters spells that weren't cast from hand. Vadric. It was cast from hand, so I can't I can't counter it. Throw a possibility, discarding a land. Do they copy this? They do. Alright. I can copy one of, or counter one of these, and I feel like I just should deny them some resources here. Seems reasonable. We're gonna cast Kama, and then if they don't immediately have an answer, they're in a bit of a pickle. It has to be like a burn spell too. We can cast Muldrotha and attempt to do some busted stuff with it, but it's going to be hard pressed to do that, I think. At least in my opinion. I think Kama's just better anyways because it flat out can't get countered. They've also dumped their... they dumped their Expansion Explosion. What is this, a bounce spell? They bolt me in the face? Whoa, that's scary. Mizzix's Mastery? When the next is copy... Okay. They electrolyze me twice? 3 times? So we take 6, they draw a bunch of cards? Uh-huh. That's different. I haven't seen this card before. Sure, that's kind of cool, I guess. Guardian Idol, fine. Alright, so maybe we turn the corner now. I can tap down their land if I feel like I want to do that. I don't know if I do, though. Do we respect a... like, 1 card in hand with 1 untapped mana? It can be kind of anything, because Vadric makes it cost 2 less. It can't be a double blue counter spell, but it can certainly be anything. Opponents pause on their attack. Maybe they realize they like alt-tabbed after they thought they finished their turn. So with this information, the fact that they paused here means this card is probably not anything castable, because they didn't think they'd have to come back until the start of their turn, because they just can't use it. I guess, unless they're playing 4D chess with me, which I don't imagine they are. With that being said, I don't really have anything crazy to do anyways. Oh, opponent figured it out. Alright, so play a land, see what's on top. Another land, go away. Do we flashback Uro? That's certainly a possibility. But the looming threat of Muldrotha in play seems nice, because they have to deal with Muldrotha before they can deal with Kama. Because Muldrotha will kill Ralzarek infinitely. I'm not going to tap their lands down. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Okay, they have a spell worth casting with 2 remaining mana. Or, I guess, 4 with this thing. But as long as we keep them low on resources, they can't go crazy, which is nice. Okay, sure, yeah. They loot twice, so they're probably not going to keep a land at the end of this. Probably, I don't know. Probably not. I can't really tap anything down to do anything effective. I could have just tempo tapped. I really just don't like doing that. I don't think I'm winning that way. Yep, opponent realizes they can only keep one card, they have 2 mana left, and they can't deal with either of these. They could deal with this. There's some cards they can cast that like do enough burn damage to kill Muldrotha, but then they lose Ralzarek again. Is it lethal? No, I don't think it's lethal. It's 6, 12, plus another 15. It's not lethal, so they don't have to block here. They go to 1. But I think I would always kill Ral, so 2 here. Yeah, 2 here, 2 to face. And if this doesn't die, then they're dead anyways. Right? We get to Nightmare their creature. But I think I would just Binding Ralzarek instead. And then I can like cast Uro, I guess. I can cast it off of Muldrotha, then off of itself to gain like 6 life and draw 2 cards if I wanted or something. Alright, GG's. We beat a blue-red controlled explode with value deck. They were playing a lot more creatures than I typically play when I play Ral. I don't really do all those weird blue-red creatures that are like, I don't know. You just bump into removal and they're just not great. When you have like 12 or less, let's say you have like 6 creatures in your deck, and your opponent has a ton of removal, well, those creatures are always going to die because your opponent has really no targets for them, and you gave them like 2. Alright, so we don't have an answer to the graveyard. We can like tutor for 1, kind of. Phyrexian Scriptures is spammable with Muldrotha, so maybe that's on the table. Gonti seems nice. We have 3 mana in the way to give Muldrotha hexproof at some point. I kind of expect this to go kind of long. It usually does against this deck, so I would like a second black, but I kind of not able to do that. All right, this, yeah. Let me channel that. Let me channel that card real quick. This into that. All right. Playing off the top here. We can deactivate. Whoa, this is not what I expected. That's not what I expected at all. I am going to kill it, though. It is a legendary, so it just like works with Kethis. Maybe that's why they're running it, but the fact that I can kill it, I guess I will. Okay, they play Kethis. We do not find... We do find a land. We deliberately not cleave this time. Get Island. Do we Frogify Kethis? I feel like that's a weak target, but it is their commander, so I suppose it makes sense to do this. Also, it prevents us from taking a bunch of damage. Old Rustine. Alright, well, they don't exactly have amazing access to their graveyard currently. We can tutor for... I tutor for a ramp spell, which I don't feel excited about. Let's just Gonti. Prevent them from attacking us. We can get this. This is decent, huh? This is not great for us. Yeah, let's just get that. If I can attack their hand slowly, I'm feeling better. They're running Thalia? Alright, they're just running every legendary for Kethis, it seems. I cannot imagine Thalia is all that good. Oh, great. There's Toski. Still no good attacks, though, which is quite huge. I can block this. Nope. Draw your card. They offset Honden this way, but I think that's fine. Do I run out Honden? It's probably better to tutor for something, isn't it? I don't really know what I'm tutoring for. It probably has to be a ramp spell, which does not feel great, but sweeping the board doesn't feel like a great idea either. Hostage Taker, is that good? Hostage Taker's decent, actually. I can steal Toski? Huh. Hostage Taker. I'm feeling Hostage Taker right now. I really do not want to get a ramp spell. Now, Hostage Taker does have to survive, but I'm kind of expecting it to. It seems as though they're like only playing legendaries, which means they don't really have removal. I guess other than like planeswalkers, which are like both. Okay, they want to reanimate Sithis, which is very strange to me. They found a sack outlet, so I can't actually exile Toski. I can kill it, but they can reanimate it like later, which might be a problem. Oh, come on. Really looking for lands. I don't really care about Thalia. Rustian's giving them like some value, but Toski's the main issue here. They can also just let this happen, and if they have a way to kill Hostage Taker, they don't actually have to spend the time to reanimate. Do I swing here? Is this reasonable? I feel like this is a good idea. I get to trade a lot of stuff for it. Okay. Sure. That seems... I think they want to block with this. They must have a bunch of enchantments in hand or something. I don't know. You can technically play shrines. They are... I mean, they are playing this shrine. We know that one. They are all legendaries. I'd be very surprised if they didn't kill Hostage Taker. Okay. So this gives a 1/1 counter. There's only one shrine in play. Alright, well, they drew 3 off of Sithis in a non-Sithis deck. What a surprise. We can block not really anything. They don't even care to attack. Alright, well, I'm going to run out Toski, because if I don't, I'll just like never be able to rely on keeping it in play. Play this tapped and pass. Alright. We have 5/6 mana. What is this ultimate? Destroy all non-zombies. So they're not really interested in that. Okay. They put a counter on all their creatures. Twice. They're willing to trade the... Wow, okay. Let's block there. That's kind of free. And Gonti getting value here seems nice, so I can just kill this. So now we almost definitely need a sweeper here, which sucks, but... I don't have a way to answer the graveyard, though. Like, I have to find Phyrexian Scriptures as my sweeper. I guess I can tutor for it. I have time for that? I feel like I'm gonna die. I don't think I have time. I can run out my... I can run out... Muldrotha? What does that do? Nothing? I won't survive 2 attack steps. Will I even survive 1? It doesn't matter if I survive 1 or not. I'm dead because I don't have a sweeper in hand anyway, so it has to be a sweeper that I can cast next turn, which is basically Crux of Fate. And the other card doesn't matter too much. Maybe some random Muldrotha card. Uro can go straight to the graveyard this way. That's not terrible. It's not exactly a great draw, so I guess I can just put that to the graveyard. Okie dokie. And we have to swing with Toski. So, doesn't really matter where it goes. And we block there. Let's see, are we dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're dead. Whatever. Well, the game lasted a while, but we missed a land drop, I think, 3 turns in a row. That's annoying. Of course, the slowest matchup we bump into, we miss land drops. It's like, that's really irritating. Because otherwise, it could have been a really, really interesting game going back and forth, but I'm 3 lands behind. I can't do anything. And Thalia made it a little bit worse, although typically Thalia is not really that great. But when I'm missing 3 land drops, it's decent. I don't even think it did anything. I think I still cast everything I could the turn I wanted to. So it really wasn't up to Thalia. Yeah. That sucks, though. This hand is extremely expensive, but it's still enticing because I have Outland Liberator. But no. They could actually be a sliver deck. Hey, we got Liberator still. Let's see. Are you slivers? Or are you shrines? Alright, Triumph. I think this is the first time we've played Triumph not from an Eldest Binding the Old Gods. What? Wow, that's interesting. So do we play Liberator or do we? I think I'm gonna run this out instead of Guardian Idol. Yeah, that's fine. Because now if they are a Shrine deck, we have this in play. If they're a Sliver deck, it's not really great, but we'll find out. This is a Guild Gate. This is not a Shockland or a Checkland or a Triumph. That's a Jungle Hollow. Okay, this is probably a Shrine deck. Usually if you're doing like what feels like is some kind of budget thing, at least these lands are making me feel that way, you're probably more on the Shrines than you are Slivers, because there's like they're all like uncommons. Highland Lake is not a Guild Gate for Maze's End. It is not a okay, that is fine. It's not a Guild Gate, it's not a gain 1 life land, it's not a temple. Like, this seems super budget. So we're gonna put Uro into the graveyard, and we're gonna put casual. No, we want binding. I think it's cheap and spammable with our commander, and it answers pretty much everything, especially if we lose the Liberator here. Well, I guess it's a trap breaker right now, but all right. Opponent says good game. Oh, it's a combo deck, I guess. Tybalt's Trickery, their thing for Ulamog? Guess we want an Eldritch Reborn then? Has to be Ulamog, right? No, it's Cultivator. Whoa, that looks really busted. That looks so broken. Okay, so you put this in play, you draw your entire deck except 1 card, and then I just blow up Cultivator and you lose? I don't understand. So their whole deck is lands, right? They have to be tapped? This is really weird. Well, no, they don't have a Oracle or something because they flipped their whole deck. They don't have any, like, you know, if you have no cards in hand or no cards in library, win the game card. Because, I mean, they didn't even hit off of Tybalt's Trickery, right? They hit Colossus off of Trickery. So they just put their whole thing into play. But how do they win? If I blow up... Is this some kind of quest completion deck where... What? I don't get it. Do you mulligan mindlessly until you draw in your opening hand Thassa's Oracle? Is there a land that gives this haste? Oh, Maze's End. Is there anything I can do about Maze's End? I can draw both Seiju to blow that up, right? Is there anything I can do about that? I don't think so. I can... No. If it wasn't for the Colossus, I suppose I could tutor something. Does this do anything? Mill 3, then... No, it doesn't. Is there a card in my deck I can draw that forces them to deck out? Because the way Maze's End reads, it has to be a sorcery, right? Wish it would hold still. I can't, like, see it. No, they can do this at instant speed. They can do it at instant speed, so I cannot stop them. Okay. I'm trying to think, though. I feel like there's something I can do. Tutor costs 2. We can... No. Heroic Intervention stops you from... No, it doesn't. What am I keep mixing up Heroic Intervention into Fairy's Protection. Heroic Intervention does not stop you from taking 65. Alright. Yeah, no, you got me. Okay. Alright. That explains all the, like, the really bad lands they're running. Because they're just running... They have to run all of them. Because they're, like... What, they're running, like, 95 lands or something like that? 97 lands? 2 spells in deck? 97 lands, yeah. So you're kind of forced to play whatever. I mean, that's kind of cool. I've never seen that before. That's interesting, I guess. You Tybalt's Trickery, and then you Colossus. It is a guarantee turn 5 must answer win. Right? I'm trying to think. Turn 5, usually, because, well, there's a chance you don't have perfect mana on turn 5. Of course our opponent did. Why wouldn't they? To cast the first sliver on 5. Eldritch Reborn wouldn't have done anything. I'd have to deal with the Maze's End, and I don't think I can. Speaking of dealing with Maze's End, we could have tutored for the Ghost Quarter. Yeah, we could have Ghost Quartered it, but we still die to the creature in play. Wait a minute. Field of Ruin wins the game, doesn't it? Did I mess up? Did I just wait not long enough? I think Field of Ruin won me the game there, depending if they actually did do the last land or not. Because obviously if they skipped their draw step, it depends if they kept a land in their deck with the Colossus. If they did do that, so I don't just blow it up immediately, we're in a good spot. If the last card in their deck is a basic somehow, and they have to pull it out with Field of Ruin, we win. So yeah, no, I actually had an out. I can't believe I waited that long and didn't see it until, like, the bitter end. That's actually extremely frustrating that I scooped that long into it, having found it later. That's really funny, though. Okay. So there is an out to it. There's a way to not just instantly lose. That's really funny. What do we not like in hand here? I guess Kama's way out there, and, I mean, Muldrotha can always recast it. Okay, well, they just fixed all their mana perfectly. Not really surprising. Let's get rid of that weird cantrip. Play you on blue. Into the north for a snow black green or black blue. I think black blue. Yeah, well, given our hand, I like that more. Alright, we have Eldritch Reborn here. I really like this card. This one's nice. The backside of it is like poop, but it's still pretty cool in the meantime. Dragon Speaker Shaman. That's a double discounter, isn't it? 2 less. Yeah, that's quite nice. Alright, we're going to cast Eldritch Reborn. Opponent's probably going to sacrifice the dragon, or the Nadar. This is really good for them right now, so it's not really much of a choice. It's kind of like a mirror, Palladium Mirror? Yeah, it's like a Palladium Mirror that has haste. Yeah, that's just so stupid good. That's insane. I have to kill it. I have to like do something about this, or I just lose to 18 dragons next turn that they can cast for like free. So cool. Maybe they mess up and discard something that's really bad to play against with the Eldest Reborn, and I can like reanimate it or something. Okay, we can blow up stuff. So maybe we don't frogify this. We can just scriptures my vector glider and not swing. Alright, so this just gave them, so far it's given them 4 mana. And it's about to give them 6. That does not have haste, so that's kind of interesting. I want the 3/4 in play, so I'll take 7. Actually, no, that's stupid. Let's just block here. Because they just get a bunch of treasure tokens if I don't do that. Alright, so they can't cast anything. You have Assassin's Trophy? What? Alright, well, okay. Sure. Is there anything I can do now? I don't think so. I think I'm dead. We can tap down one of their creatures and frogify another. And I'll tutor Crux of Fate, which is actually hilariously good right now. So sure. Opponent says good game. I'm not sure how we're dead. Is there something that's going to kill us out of nowhere? I don't know. I can tap something down. They don't even make a bunch of treasure tokens either. Binding? That doesn't do much here, does it? Oh, yes it does. It blows up the... Yeah, alright. So I have to tap something. Wait a minute, this doesn't kill us. This does not kill us at all, does it? We take 7 plus 8. That's not lethal. Opponent got ahead of themselves, I guess? They can't even block with a 2/2. Oh, they can swing with a 2/2, actually. They can. What does this do when it dies? Treasure tokens or exile the next top 2 cards. You can play them. Okay. Sarkhan's Unsealing. Oh. I guess we're dead. Cool. Alright, my opponent had the best possible game they've ever had with that deck, I can guarantee you. Assassin's Trophy and Dragon Speaker. Completely cheated the game. They ramped, it generated, I think, what? How many dragons did they play? 14? Not 14. 7? No. 6? Something like that. It generated like 10 mana. So like pay 3, generate 10 mana to cast massive dragons. Sure, why not? They had Binding to deal with... Yeah, no, they had the best possible game they've probably ever had with that deck. That's unfortunate. But I suppose that happens sometimes. Not much I can do about it. Our hand was pretty solid, too. Alright, we have no black mana. It's not really the end of the world, though. Don't seem like we're under any... What? Okay, this is not usually what Kemball does. Don't think we're scared of this. We have nothing to draw into at instant speed, so I'll just pass. I don't think our opponent's going to cast another spell for the rest of the game, though, unless I do something. Usually how Kemball works, at least, given my experience. But he's not really going to kill me. Unless you discard a basic land. We don't have one. We can get rid of Ghost Form and maybe Casualties of War? No, that'll probably be good later. Extinction Event does not seem too exciting, though. So let's run this out. We cast this first, so we don't take damage twice off of Kemball. Yep. When I cast Arcane Signet, that is. Or just any other spell, which I guess in this case will be this one. I'll get a black... Do we have second blue? We do. Alright, so we'll get black, green. Alright, decent spot. Get to discard a card here as well from the... Oh wow, they just snapped it off again, huh? That's really bold. Alright. 9 lives? What? What? What are you doing? Alright, let's set you back a ways. I like their choice in basics. Do you run out 9 lives? I think it's reckless to do that, right? Could be quite reckless. They have a removal spell for the token, so it's actually not great right now. I guess that being said, I'll just do this. This is an instant and cast it for free, but I think I prefer Gonti. Because you know they have Gonti in their deck, so we can Gonti them back. And I will wait to play Gonti before I play this. So the card that we know about doesn't just easily deal with what we're doing. No, I have to like tap 4 to kill it instead. Doomscar. Blight Beetle? What? That's cool. That's some very that's like deep tech. That is deep. We are going to play this as our land. And now I'll make a 1/1 here. It looks like they have another removal spell, actually. Because it was an instant that they couldn't cast until Gonti resolved. So they have 2 removal spells here. But do they cast Kimbala first, I wonder? Mothra. Mothra does not save itself, correct? Does not appear to be the case. I will offer a trade. Right, let me just triple check. Luminous Broodmoth. Flying dies. Okay, no, it doesn't. So I can swing first. See what they do. Before I binding it. They're also probably, like, have it in their head that I can... I stole a sweeper, because they have, like, a lot in their deck. So it's pretty likely, right? Luminous Broodmoth is an interesting one. It's like a way to protect Kimball, kind of. Not like the greatest way. There's some cards we can find that are castable here. Let's see if we find one. That is a card. It's actually... It has play in this matchup. It does. It certainly does. Feed the Swarm. Sure. And then they can kill Gonti or just not kill Gonti. Either way, it's, you know, pretty reasonable. Triome? Yeah. I can force them to deal with Jin-Gitaxias, so... I will. I can certainly expect a way for them to deal with it. If we spam Muldrotha... If we can cast Muldrotha and cast, like, Binding in the same turn, I think that's, like, enough value to not be upset. Because doing that back and forth lets me find the land like Golos, so I only need 1 land to recast this over and over. Which is really nice. Oh, they're exiling it. Oh, no. Oh, wait, no. Wait. Sweeper? No. Alright, so they kind of... Unless they didn't want me to draw a card, they did that backwards. But I am Muldrotha, so... That is not really the best idea for the opponent there, in my opinion. Well, that wasn't great. I am going to cast this, though, and accept our losses there. That was a really bad Grizzly salvage. Alright, swing for 2. I'm not going to play Muldrotha and have nothing to do with it. Actually, no, that wasn't too bad of a salvage. Oh, they have Rest in Peace. Wow. They actually have Rest in Peace. Alright, well, I have to wilt it, so... I have to let that trigger resolve first. I basically have to wilt it if I want to continue, like, doing things. Oh, well, that's also kind of annoying. Doomscar does not deal with that. Can I win without a graveyard? I think I can. But if Underworld Dreams kills us, we weren't going to win anyways. So let's just not worry about it. We also drew immediately a very good card with Muldrotha, so that's nice. We take damage, I guess, off of this, but who cares? Alright, yep. Do this on you. This is a really good card to find off of the top right now. So I'm quite happy with our decision. And we still have more ways to blow up enchantments. It's not like that was the only one. Oh. Okay. This is only creatures, right? No, it actually shuts down my... It actually shuts it down. It does. Alright. So I can't cast my card there. I can't cast anything. Let's get the land. I think I'll still cycle Chromatic Sphere. I mean, I might as well. Run all the hate, yeah. It's kind of working. It's cool to see what my opponent's up to. I will mill myself. You never know. I mean, I could hit a land or something. Alright, we hit a really good card. We hit a really good card, actually. Let's blow up the cage. And then recast it. Oh yeah, this is backbreaking. Yeah, we just pulled right out of it. Yeah, that was really devastating for the opponent. That was a good activation. Yep. Oh, someone's upset. That's funny. I mean, they could buy a lot of time with 9 lives because I can't blow that up, and I am not putting a lot of counters on it. Like, this could buy them 4 turns or something crazy. But yeah, channeling this wound up doing something really good. I never expected it to, but it did. Picked up Outland Liberator, blew up Cage, blew up the other card that could eat it from like the graveyard or whatever. Yeah, that's dirty. Oof. Yeah, run all the hate, but the problem, it's like, this is my issue with doing the 9 lives, or just an enchantment heavy thing, is like, if you're trying to lock your opponent out, and they have one piece that like blows up a thing you do, and then that piece unlocks the rest of everything, you're in serious trouble. And it's hard to lock out somebody in a deck or in a format where everyone has a ton of one-ofs. I do regret casting Casualties of War that early, but it didn't end up punishing us that much. And we made the right decision, thankfully, to kill Rest in Peace immediately, because our deck continued to feed us graveyard-based cards with Muldrotha in play, which they did not have an answer to. GG's. Very different Kimball list, though. I feel like it... I don't know. Rest in Peace is alright, I guess. Chromatic Sphere MVP. Alright, this is that weird Esper Fairy. We have mana, we have things, but these 2 cards are really... whatever. Let's play you. Opponent send in the love. Wonder if they know me. Probably not. Let's see here. You. Pass. I don't have discard spells or any 1-mana spell to cast, so I don't really want to crack the sphere for no reason. Play the Midnight Clock. That's interesting. Sure. I want to blow up Field of Ruin, so I will with my Harrow. Because I keep forgetting to take it out of my deck. Alright, so blue and black. No, we want green as well. Yeah, we want green. There's some 2-mana cards I can find. So let's see. That is not one of them. God Pharaoh statue? What? Cast an artifact or enchantment. Okay. You can certainly play that card. It's pretty good against us right now, I think. I would say, yeah, it's pretty good against us. We're not doing much now. The Wanderer. Okay. It makes your spells cost less, right? No, it doesn't. Okay. Well, our whole hand is not great, so we can maybe get rid of some of it. Well, those are decent, but they're not amazing. Bolas' Citadel lets me cast off the top still. I cannot imagine I'll ever have Ulamog mana, but... Nah, we're going to just dump these. Play land. We can continue to do things. Like, we can find... we can dig up Casualties of War still. And I think we can do it before the midnight clock. I think. Well, especially if they tap that much for this. Yeah, it looks like we can. We do get hosed by a removal or a counterspell though, but I don't think there's much in the way of just respecting that. I don't feel like that's a way to win the game. What do we need to cast this though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 1 land to cast Casualties. Might not be able to do that. Oh, they can flip it before I can blow it up because they can do it right now. A little greedy though, because you are kind of losing all your mana. Oh, nope. Alright, so I'm going to snap blow this up so they don't just get a bunch of mana. Oh no, I can't. I can't. Ah, they can activate it in response. I'm so stupid. I should have blew up the Godfrail statue. I'm so stupid. I can't believe I did that. Wow, I can't believe I did that. Wow, that is... Why did I do that? I feel like I know better than that, too. Well, at least I'm aware of my mistake. Can't do much about it past that. But I think this game is now over. Should have blew up the Godfrail statue. No idea why I didn't do that. It's not too late, but it probably is too late. Let's be real. Alright, guess it's not too late. Maybe just don't have counterspells, which I am going to assume is the case from here on out. There's no counters in their deck, just artifacts and enchantments, which is still beating us up pretty well. But that obviously means our Emergent Ultimatum will resolve, which is quite nice. I imagine it will resolve. I can't picture them having a counterspell now. Okay, they do. I am confused. Weird. This isn't doing much anymore. I think we can bottom it. They are putting some pressure on us. I don't know why they didn't counter. That must have been the draw for the turn, yeah. Otherwise, obviously, you counter the original via Casualty of the War. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have Ulamog. And we take out you and you. So there's a lot of answers to Ulamog. It's more of just a removal spell at this spot, right? Like they have plenty of ways to... Ooh, swords though. That's really huge. Gaining 10 is quite nice right now. Just snapping off their commander again. Mox Amber. Sure. We can look for a sweeper. I mean, we can look for binding. I think binding is a little bit better right now. At least in my opinion. So I'm going to get it. And we are going to cast it. And I will defend it with a counterspell, I think. If they have something. Looks like they don't. What's nice about this is I can counter it on the recast here, which I really like. Can't do that again though. But with binding, we can now start spamming it with Muldrotha. Wow, we might undo the Assassin's Trophy mistake here. It might wind up being quite nice. Quite nice. Oh, I don't have nothing else to do, so let's see if you have Wash Away, maybe, they've been holding? No. Let's get a land. I guess we can maybe Field of Ruin them out of every single card there. I think it's better to leave up Negate than it is to cast Liliana, so... Though defending Muldrotha doesn't feel like a good idea if they go to kill it, because they probably have a bunch of dead removal spells otherwise. But I could be wrong. Looks like they just really have nothing. Wizard class. I will counter anything, so you don't draw cards. I wonder if they trade with Muldrotha here? I don't think they do. I think we just kill their commander again with the Binding Loop. I'm not going to put Bolas' Citadel into play. I will cast Liliana and minus on a fairy. It could gain us plenty of life. Feels like a promising endeavor here. Play land. We did not do an artifact, so we can cycle this and recast it. Oh, no, we did. Alright, I'm just stupid. Never mind. Don't listen to me. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Listen to me again. And swing. Alright, so we've got the old Muldrotha engine chugging along. That is... I don't even know if that's the right target here. I guess it is. Take action? Yes. I think I would take Binding there. Isn't taking Binding just better? Because then I can't spam it. Destroy... Oh, okay, so they're just going to blow them all up. Oh, wow, they did a really good job at resetting the board. It's actually quite nice. I imagine there's a counterspell now? Because they know I can just start to rebuild. Which they probably don't want. Oh, they can bounce... Oh, they didn't do it. They could have bounced Banishing Light. That was a bit of a misplay. Bit of a misplay there. Kind of unfortunate. So they can Binding this again. Land. Artifact will be Sphere. Guess I'll crack it now. Heroic Intervention. That's... would have been good, but now we can't use it really. Okay, they get not really much off of this at all. What does this do? Enters the battlefield. Okay, so this doesn't really do anything against us. Okay, let's get you. Eldest Reborn stops this from hitting us. So I guess I'll just run that out. The artifact will be Chromatic Sphere. And I can tutor. No, I can't. Not anymore. I'll leave up the channel, I guess. Everything costs 2 more, so it's rough to deal with. But this seems fine. Discard a land. Swing for 6. I don't imagine we'll die to damage this game. Probably just be a value. Even though they got kind of close, I don't think they're going to close it out with it, really. But they did get the statue back. Oh, alright. Discard a card. Intervention. Mana Geode, sure. So we get to Binding the Pharaoh, God Pharaoh statue. Oh, looping Binding feels so good. Why does this cost 0? Why does this cost 0? Oh, shoot, it doesn't cost 0. I shouldn't have cast that. I got confused. It's been so long since I've played that. That was actually a grave mistake. I should not have cast that. That is my bad. I really want a way to gain life now. So I guess we need Uro, but I can't immediately cast Uro. That was a mistake. I should not have done that. Lifelink creature and Uro. Put Uro into the graveyard. And I guess we can sack this on you? No, I don't care about that. We don't care about anything in play currently, so we can hold on to this. I really hope that doesn't wind up killing me, that I played this off the top. It might have even been a good target to cast, because the ability is pretty solid. I'll get rid of you. Like, it is a good naturalize effect, which might wind up being quite effective. Alright, I guess it's soaked for Muldrotha here. That's... Actually, no, let's just kill that. And then kill this. Alright, so I guess we ended up turning it around there. Got kind of close, unnecessarily so. Oh, I missed lethal. I'm stupid. I obviously could have cast, just not sacked it. And swung for lethal, so that's my bad. This is the second major misplay of this game. was doing that. Almost dying twice for no reason. Or giving my opponent an extra turn this go round, but yeah. We cast Uro again off of Muldrotha, and then we cast it again off of itself. Or we can just cast Brontodon, which is probably just better. A bit risky. Maybe it's always right to actually just play this even at 6 life, go down to 3. I really don't expect any sort of reach from them. I don't expect haste. They don't have a man land. There's no enchantment or artifact that like blows us out. Not even one from the graveyard if they recurred any. So going down to 3 is pretty reasonable. I'd say that's probably not overall a misplay, especially with the, access to this for the rest of the game, because we can spam it with Muldrotha, and we don't have to spam Uro with Muldrotha. We can just simply cast Uro. Because this turns into a 0/4 when it attacks, number of defending players' graveyard. They actually really have no creatures in our graveyard. And it has to attack past this, and it just can't. And it does not have haste. So, GG's. Wow, it's already been 2 hours? 2.5 hours? The last couple of games have been a bit slow, though. It is crazy to really think how fast the Jin-Gitaxias games were, if you go watch that video. We won 16 games and lost, what, 3 or something? And we did it in like an hour and 50 minutes, and here we are like getting 13 wins after 2.5 hours. So we went super positive, which is nice. It didn't feel like I had to go heavy into counterspells to like not die, you know, like stay alive against stuff. Pretty weak to some aggro strategies, but we can beat them. Like the one that really beat us was like the Mardu Ishin deck, right? It was over before it started. We lost to Kenrith, which is a pretty grindy back and forth matchup. It's one I really like to play. I don't see it too often. We both play with our graveyards. We're both recurring nonsense, and it's kind of cool. Though they probably have a little bit of an edge on us. I don't know how much the blue is bringing to the table against the white that they have. But it's still one of my favorite matchups in like the entire game. It's one of my favorite matchups in Commander, is Muldrotha versus Kenrith, because the game goes back and forth. Yeah. Is there anything we really didn't like? This is somewhat better than... Like, you can look at this and just see like a weird divination with extra steps, but it's a spammable divination. It's not a Mulldrifter, though, which would probably be better. Well, wait, Mulldrifter, what am I talking about? Mulldrifter is not in this game. Is Mulldrifter in this game? Am I dumb? It is. Alright, no. Yeah, Mulldrifter is in this game. It's certainly just a Mulldrifter, right? It's just a recurring Mulldrifter. You could run both, even. I still like Narfi's Betrayal, even though, I don't know, like it mills, it steals something sometimes from the opponent. It's spammable, but every time we had it, it was one of the last cards in our hand we were excited to cast. You could maybe even go up another Frogify effect, because when their commander does die, you can recast it out of your graveyard with Muldrotha, so... It's something your opponent just has to like constantly deal with, which is quite nice. Mulldrifter is the best design card ever. I actually just took it out of my Muldrotha list in favor of like just different spicy stuff. Like I had like all my creatures in my Muldrotha list kind of like ramp. Like I have a Springbloom Druid actually, and the blue ones are like Mnemonic Sphere and stuff. But I'm sure there's a spot for Muldrotha in here. I don't know. I'm running Forbid now. It's always nice to discard lands with Forbid and then replay them with Muldrotha out of the graveyard. Feels great. Yeah, there's actually a lot of cards in this deck. Ulamog, not currently included. I finally took him out, but I have this card. There's a lot of cards in Historic Brawl that are in my Muldrotha deck. It's really exciting. So I can get quite close to my own list. Let's see. But anyways, back to digital reality here. What do we not like? There was that one game where this was insane with the Chromatic Sphere. It was just great. Is there another Chromatic Sphere effect I can run? I can run like Lantern because I can crack it for 1 mana over and over as an artifact. And the Lantern attacks the opponent's graveyard, which can be relevant. Attacking our opponent's graveyard is something we're a little bit light on, but what would we drop for that? I don't know if I like Snake Mom. It's cool. I like the effect, but you already have to have Muldrotha in play, and if you're already doing that, you don't really care about this. Other than the fact that this specifically gets Uro, it does not let Uro cost less because it's blue, blue, green, green. There's no generic mana, but you can do that. It is a 4/4 lifelink, but it costs 5. I don't know. We already have, like, Final Parting. I just like the card, and I have it in my deck, so I thought I'd give it a try, but it's not even really one of the cards I'd pick off of a Buried Alive, if you could run Buried Alive. So, like, it would be on the bottom of my options or interests, so I think I'm going to drop it. A 5-mana black card for a 1-mana colorless card seems like a good idea, right? Can't be upset about that one. Yeah, I'll run Lantern. I'll run Lantern. And if our opponent has no graveyard, we can still exile like random cards out of our own graveyard and not feel too bad about it. Like in order to cycle this over and over. Relic, you can't really do that though. I mean, you literally can't do it. It exiles itself. So yeah, that actually seems quite nice. For the new set, whoops. I don't like Discover the Impossible. Jin-Gitaxias tripped up the furry boy, Ninetales or whatever, Light-Paws. It tripped up the Light-Paws at 3/0. But outside that, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it has gotten answered every single time I've cast it, except like once. And that one time it was against a deck that wasn't really scared of it. Except they accidentally were scared of it and blew themselves out of the water for some reason. Kind of unfortunate. I do like both of these a lot. The blue one is really nice. The black one, I think we only cast it against I'm Not Fine, and it didn't do anything because we were dead. I wound up really liking the black channel in, which I did not expect. I still don't really care for the blue one. I don't think anyone does, but I don't think I care for that one. We could run another Thirst. These are always nice. Draw 3, discard cards. They're always nice. We could run another permanent removal, like no, we have Assassin's Trophy. Like Assassin's Trophy. Binding the Old Gods was just good all the time. It was just always good. It's kind of funny. Non-land permanent removal. Not too many cards like do that. It's not going to be blue. It's going to be black or green. We could run discard spells too, actually. We're just not running like any. No, this one doesn't recur. I don't like that. This one... Abundant Harvest? It's just a cantrip, really, but you don't get to pick what you find, other than, like, land or non-land. Right? It is weird to not run discard spells. There are creature-based discard spells. We can spam this with Muldrotha. But that's so late into the game, though, right? You cast Muldrotha, you cast this, and then you have to wait a turn because it has Summoning Sickness. It's really not that great. There's some that when they enter the battlefield they discard, but then I can't sacrifice it to itself or anything. So it's on my opponent to actually have it die. Discovery Mills. Surveil is a decent option. Search for Azcanta has plenty of targets. Search is not in here. Oh, whoops. Specifically blue. Let me think. How many cards are not good with Search for Azcanta? All of our 1-drops, except one, see Search, right? No, 2. It's 2. So there's all of those. 1, 2. All of our 2-mana cards except 2. All of our 3s except 3. All of our 4s except 3. All of our 5s except 1. And all of our big stuff 6 and up except 3. But I mean, at that point, you're not super like Search for Azcanta finding Emergent Ultimatum is, you know, I guess you feel good about that. It's also technically a land, so it's like a soft ramp spell that it also fuels the graveyard whether or not I actually have things to like tutor into. So you could say it even in a heavy creature based Muldrotha deck, it's still decent. You could just never flip it, you know. So it's always good. And in this version of Muldrotha, it probably should have always been in here. And yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Oh right, whoa. Let's drop Field of Ruin. Screw you, Field of Ruin. Let's put in, I don't know. Do I have all the Neon Dynasty lands in here? I think all the ones I own at least. Oh, the untapped if you have 2 or more lands. I don't think I have those in here. Yeah, Shipwreck Marsh. Yeah, all right. Toss that in there. Do I have the other one? What is the other one, actually? Might not own it. What? Wait, what is that? What did I just put in my deck? What are those from? Is that from the D&D set, then? Shipwreck whatever? Where is it in my... It is from the D&D set. Huh. Did I just never, like, own them or something? Wait a minute, what's going on here? That's the only one you can run? Huh, for some reason I thought all 10 were in the game. Alright, well, never mind. There's no blue-green one or black-green one. At least not yet, I guess. What if I just don't filter by set? Bear with me. I don't like the fast lands. I don't like the ones in Kaladesh. Okay, so they do have the black-green one. And the... Okay, so they are in the game. I just don't own them. I suppose if you do own them, obviously I'd slap them in here. Drop some basic lands. I could craft one, but I like a lot of basic ramp. And having a decent amount of basics to always have one is quite nice. But I'm sure I could absolutely shave 2 basics for these lands. I just don't like the fast lands. Never been a fan of them, and I probably never will be. Even in like modern or like competitive stuff. I think the check lands are just better. I do. Especially with triomes and shock lands and fetch lands. I think the check lands are better than the fast lands. Except specifically turn 1. If you really need it to dump a 1-mana card. If you're like a blue-red Dragon Rage Channeler Delver deck, then, you know, fine. But I've noticed a lot of the times, especially when like someone like Reed Duke's playing Jund, his turn 3 land or a turn 4 land is a fast land. He's like, it happens so many times it doesn't seem worth it. But that's a completely different thing, and I can rant on for 3 hours about that, and this video will never end, so I won't. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you did and did not like. Let me know what you would play instead of whatever, and like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.